Welcome to the Season 21 Week 6 reviews, Week 7 previews podcast. Smalley isn't doing his this week, so I've taken over yet again, and I'm joined by my good friend, bigbadball.
Hey, that's me.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let's get rolling. First game of the week, Legends of the Splitting Temple, your team, versus LBT. We have a sweep for Legends of the Splitting Temple, and not very close. 13-2 and 13-2 and then 13-5 on token. So not a very close series. LVT at the bottom of the standings now, and LST vaulting all the way up to what is it, fifth place? Yeah, fifth
I
place.
think
So
it's fifth now. Yeah.
So obviously you played in this game. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean that was a good game. I thought we had kind of a rough week the week before against Hajalpa's team. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I was talking to Drufa about this. We kind of have alternating weeks on which one of us is actually going to play offense, and this week was kind of one where we both decided to play offense. Um, Usually works out pretty well when we did that. Just kind of felt like a good bounce back that we needed after last week, given how tight playoffs are. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it really wasn't too much I feel like to talk about.
Yeah, LBT's been having issues with ping all season. Did you guys play on Dallas?
We did, and I know I personally haven't had any of the Chupa issues, but I know Drufa and Lamatron had been having issues with that, and then I can't remember if it was right before this game or right after Chupa like started working again, and Drufa and Lama were able to have decent ping. I want to say it was like the day before the game, their ping kind of stabilized, and we were able to actually kind of see what we were doing, which
Yeah,
definitely helps.
you love to see it. Well, you
Love
don't
to see it.
don't love to see it if we're playing against your team. But
True.
okay, next game, Isotopes versus my team. My team getting the sweep, but almost losing both of the games. We lost both of the first halves, 5-3, and then 6-4. But then we came storming back in the second half of both games, winning by 5 caps both times to give us the sweep. I mean, it seems to be a common thread with us. Like we went down 8, or we went down 6 against Weed the People with 6 minutes left on Audacity, and then we capped 8 times in 6 minutes and took the game. I guess we're just like playing the first half as like a scrim, as like a warm up, since we don't really scrim that much. Half of like literally everyone on the team besides me has been playing minors the entire season, and thankfully
Yeah,
that
Jarvis.
that season's minors is almost done. So we'll be able to get full scrims in for the playoffs. I would hope, but
Yeah,
definitely
we played. Yep, go ahead.
it's just so that we're not invincible, but we're also pretty hard to beat when we've practiced and when we're prepared. But if teams can catch us sleeping, then we get capped on a lot, which is a little concerning. But
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we played Isotopes week one way back then, and I've kind of felt like so. I think they actually swept us that week, or they were close. Let me pull up this results. Yeah, they swept us week one, 7-6 and 9-7. I've kind of been surprised to see them in the ninth spot in the standings since then because I felt like in week one they played really really well. Um, Kind of been surprising. I know we'll get to playoff predictions later, but even though they're outside right now, I think they'll definitely be getting in and could definitely upset some people. Obviously, they played you guys close, and you being the number one team right now, they're not a bad team.
yeah, they're just the best way to describe their style is they're boring. There's no like one firepower player. Like they're all solid, but they don't have like a catalyst who can get them going when they need stuff to
Yeah,
start.
we kind of said that exact same thing week one after they beat us. That like, wow, that was a really boring team to just have lost to, which was kind of frustrating. But yeah, I mean, that's a team that I think can make a run in playoffs, assuming they get in.
Yeah, they playing LBT next week at the bottom of the standings will
That will help.
definitely yes, but we will see. Okay, next game, Nips versus the question marks. Split here. Question marks taking game one by 9 caps, 14-5. But then Nips having a good redemption in game two, winning 8-5. We had A Dog playing for Big Brother, who's on vacation, and he was the first guy I invited to the podcast, but then he told me he's still on vacation, so we had to send him
Wow,
home.
second fiddle over here. I see how it is.
The second biggest thing is but yeah. I don't know,
Yeah, this Nips team is confusing to me. I feel like 'cause I don't think we've played them this season. We might have. I don't think we did, but we've scrimmed them a couple times, and I feel like they're on paper weaker than they've been performing, but at the same time they keep beating top teams. So I don't really know where to put them at all.
yeah, it makes sense. I makes sense what you're saying. Like that offense should never be good in an A-team season, but I mean I don't know, maybe it's Dusk was a good coaching, maybe it's them
Dust does have a
getting
good record,
yeah.
a good history. Yeah, 'cause them knocking off Fajalpa's team, even if in a split, I think is pretty impressive. Because I mean, we didn't play great against them the week before, but they beat us pretty handily.
Yeah,
So
they are still in second place right now. There's 9-3, so
yeah,
they're they're going to be one of the top contenders. But and then we have Nip sitting in the standings, right in the middle, sixth place at with 19 points. Probably going to retain top six, but probably I don't think they'll be able to move up much because all the other teams besides your team are a fair bit ahead of them. Nips would need to sweep and then hope that BCC and BOA get swept in order to move up against them. So it's
yeah, I'll have to look.
unlikely they'll be a top four team.
Yeah, I'll have to look at Squid's research document he put together. The
Yeah,
only
that was
situation I really
insane.
looked at was Mars.
26 pages. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah,
I don't know how he did
yeah.
it.
I've tried to do stuff like that before, and there's just no way I can.
Okay. Next game, Bank of America Caps versus Super Monkey Balls. Super Monkey Balls redeeming some of themselves after getting destroyed by my team last week. Getting the split, we had Inspire. No, we had Inspire in for Jerry. Jerry not showing up very much this season. I don't
Is that
know.
is he doing that when they're playing Western teams, or is that just Jerry being 6 hours ahead of everybody?
Just him being 6 hours ahead of everybody. He is
Huh.
120 minutes this season, so what? That's half the minutes, and
Yeah, that is only half.
which is kind of rough. That team's, but I mean, they still beat BOA's third, I think. Yeah, they're third. So getting a split with Inspire's OFM god is still pretty powerful against Bank of America.
Mhm.
Both games are pretty close to 7-5, 11-8. So maybe last week was just a fluke week for them, or they've figured out their lag issues that caused them to. That was part of the reason why they got destroyed week 5.
Yeah, that the Bank of America seems kind of one that I feel like similar to Nips might be a little weaker on paper than their standings actually indicate. Part of why I feel like that is because of our really good result against them a few weeks ago. But at the same time, they're third in the standings for a reason. Yeah, I really think this playoff prediction is going to be just a complete shot in the dark.
Mhm. Yeah, Sonder MVP candidate. We'll get to awards later, but and we have to do. We can't talk about this team without talking about Zeus having what he has like 100 more grabs than the guy in second place or something.
Yeah, I don't even understand how that's possible. Because I didn't feel like he grabbed a ton when we played them, but I guess he did. It, I don't get it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
he's 508 grabs, and then second place is Juke Juice with 394. So that's 100 and
Jeez,
114 more grabs. That's sometimes
jeez.
it could be good, could be bad, but
As somebody who has led the league, and I know I've done it in pops. I don't know if I've led the league in grabs before. That's extremely impressive.
yeah. All right. Next game we have We the People with their new edition 420 slash anti-re versus Krusty Grabs with Hawaii replacing Turd Ferguson. We the People getting the sweep. They've been on a roll recently. They swept LBT last week, and now they've picked up another 6 points against the pretty weak-ish Krusty Grabs team. Like I think they're 10th in the standings. Yeah, 10th in the standings is only 9 points, so not too sure if this is just them having 2 good weeks against bad teams or if they're actually something to be concerned about with 420. I think they have 420 on defense and they've moved Herb to offense, which doesn't seem like it should be working on just like knowing that 420 is way better at offense, but
Mhm.
hey, whatever works, and
Exactly. Yeah, I think they kind of. I think the changes they made to kind of just go off what you were saying definitely has been an improvement for them. I don't think Krusty Grabs is a bad team, so to handle them the way they did, I think it was. Well, I guess it was only 3 caps total difference, but to get the sweep is huge. Um, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in week 7 with them because they right now I think what are they 7th in the standings? Yeah, so they're part of that crew of what is it 5 teams fighting for
yeah,
4 spots.
playing the handoff god who've already been eliminated in the playoffs next week. That'll so
Will help their
they're
case.
playing the bottom 3 teams in the last 3 weeks, and they're just feasting off of that.
It's how you get hot heading into playoffs.
Yeah, I guess, but they're still scary. I don't think my team would pick these guys. They almost beat us without their best player in week 3, and they're definitely not the weakest of the 5 through 8
Yeah,
seed.
I really do think all the teams between 3 and 9 right now could go any way.
Mm-hmm.
If you just put them head to head, looking at the standings, Bank of America Caps has dropped games. Who's in third? They've dropped games against us and who was it?
Isotopes.
Um, Isotopes, who are in ninth. And I really don't think there's too big of a difference. I mean, there's what 4 wins difference. I don't think AmeriCaps can miss, but I think they can fall all the way to sixth. So this is going to be interesting week 7.
Yeah, for sure. And then the final game of the week, Handoff God versus Bohemian Capsidy. BCC getting the sweep. Game 1 not close, 16-2, and then
Yikes.
but game 2, Handoff God brought it back a little bit, 7-11, only losing by 4 caps. So not that bad, but
Yeah, I think this one kind of went the way everybody expected it to go. I mean, ECC is fourth and Handoff Gods in last. Kind of not much to really be said there.
yeah, that new lineup with getting Obama in, moving Rick G to defense, having Obama and Mr. Austin the care to carry on their respective positions. They're also a really scary team. I'm not looking forward to playing them in the playoffs, assuming that eventually happens. They're they don't have any weaknesses really. Like all of the players are above average. Maybe not active, but or
Well, it depends.
risk,
Is he
but
playing offense or defense?
yeah, they have him on. They have him on. Oh, he's so yeah. I mean, I could see an argument for saying that they're currently the second best team in the league. Not sure if they're better than question marks yet, but
Yeah, I think if you had them in
they're
question marks play a best of seven, it's gonna go to game seven. So it's close up at the top.
yeah. It's just too hard to predict now. It's not often when like this where you have. I mean, the first seed is obvious, but when you don't really know how to order the next nine teams, or next what is it, 8 teams? I don't think that's very common in this league to have it.
No, parity is not something NLTP has had for a while.
You love to see it though. You like to see good competitiveness and good competition everywhere.
For sure.
Okay, and now we have B team. We'll go in reverse order. Handoff God versus Bohemian Capacity. Handoff God taking 2 out of 3 in some not very close games. BCC only won by 1 in the first game, and then Handoff God winning by 6 and 7 caps in the games 2 and 3.
Hmm.
Handoff God storming back now, having Poet after Turd Ferguson and Ed ghosted, which I know some people were complaining about that, but it's the right thing to do. You can't just have two 18 level players disappear and expect not to get compensated. How good Poet is? Should Poet be on B team? No, probably not. But when the team's getting
Yeah.
shafted that badly, they
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know much about either of these two B teams. I don't know much about B team in general, to be perfectly honest with you. But looking at the standings, I mean, is this not a pretty big upset?
I mean, kinda, yeah. It kinda is, but I Handoff God definitely would be higher if they had if they
Yeah, I mean, I
had
guess yeah,
had
having two
Poet
ghosts doesn't
for
help.
yeah for the whole season. They should be in the playoffs, and they probably will make the playoffs, assuming
Yeah,
they
because they're 10th right now, but what, 3 points, so one game out of eighth.
yeah,
Uh,
and playing the last place team in week 7 will help them out. And BCC kind of yikes for them. I think they pretty sure they got swept the week before, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they got swept versus LBT, so currently on a 1-5 streak. Not looking too hot for them, but
the
still in
opposite
the
of getting
fourth
hot
place.
heading to playoffs.
Yes, definitely the opposite. But B team is even closer than A team, standings wise. First place and 10th place separated by 12 points. That's 4 games away. So,
Once again, parity and NLTP not common, but we love to see it.
yeah. Imagine if Squid had to do those tiebreakers with B team
I think
playoffs. They'd be
I
here
think you should
forever.
I think you should force him to, otherwise you should bench him on Tuesday.
I could never do that. Okay, and then we had Krusty Grabs versus We the People. As expected, Krusty Grabs getting the sweep, winning by 3 caps and then 9 caps and then 3 caps. We the People now eliminated from playoffs. A lot of close games for them this season, but they just couldn't capitalize when it counted. And we're seeing the
Yeah, those are
new Krusty Grabs team was Jay Swan for nothing in free agency, and then Omnivore starting level player for XYZ I don't know how one would pronounce that.
I don't either.
So now they have a pretty solid starting 5 now with Naga and Borges and Frodo Ballins to go with Jason and Omnivore there. They're scary. I put them last in the preseason power rankings for B team, but I guess I was way off there.
Yeah, Borges is the best player in B team. Don't at me.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know if he's starting now, honestly, because I know
He should be.
I'm not watching their games, or I don't know who the starters are, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
meant to
sure.
watch some B team results before this and then forgot to.
I'm pretty sure it's Frodo, Ballins, and Naga on defense. That could. Okay, let's check the stats. Okay, it looks like Frodo Ballins has been playing offense, so apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. So,
Does anybody?
so yeah, Borges, Borges, Naga, defense, J Swan, Omnivore offense. Scary B team, not one that I'm looking forward to playing in the playoffs. If we
Are you
make the
finally going to
playoffs.
put yourself on B team, Jarvis? Is that what I'm hearing?
I tried because Catalyst wasn't able to show up for the past 2 weeks, so I did ask the CRC
Uh,
if I could like replace him, but they said no. They think I'm too
that
good
pesky
now.
CRC. That pesky CRC, man.
Yeah, maybe I'll run for CRC and change the rules next year or next season. You never know.
CRC's never done something like that before.
All right, next game we have Bank of America versus Super Monkey Balls. Super Monkey Balls redemption after getting swept by my team last week, winning 2 out of 3 games, 7-3, 10-12, and then losing by 1 cap in overtime though. Game 3, 9-8. So picking up 7 points on the week, showing
Yeah.
that their maybe last week was just a fluke for them. They have two of the best players. You could even say they have the best player on D and O in the league in Inspire and Blackberry. Whether those two are the best, I don't know, but definitely top 3 in their position. So
Yeah,
I
kind of surprising for me to see Blackberry on B team. I know didn't she have a decent season last season on A?
kinda Jerry. We had bad stats last season, but Jerry did all the work for the team. She didn't
Yeah,
really need
classic
to.
Jerry.
So we have Super Monkey Balls at 6 in the standings, and Bank of Americaps at 7th, separated by 1 point, right in the middle of B team standings. Could jump to first,
Yeah.
could jump out of the playoffs. So
Yeah, it is crazy to think about. I thought I saw like only has any B team technically clinched playoffs yet? I guess Split and Temple and Miami being the top two probably have,
yeah,
but I feel like because the difference, what is it, 7 points between third and eighth? So I guess yeah, technically they haven't clinched yet. I
no,
don't think
no. LST has because Nip Station can only get 9 points, and I think my team has also because some of the teams in the top
they're going to cannibalize
three
each
are
other.
playing each other. So they're
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So but who the hell knows at this point?
You love to see parody.
We'll just have to let week 7 ride and figure it out afterwards. Okay, next we have Manipulation Station versus the Question Marks team. Question Marks have gone on a pretty big downfall since the start of the season. I've been trying to hype up this team for a while now. They have 3 of my players from last season in Lamatron and Mueller and Larson. Wait, no, they don't have Lamatron. What am I talking?
About to say, Lamatron's
Not
on my team,
Lamatron.
bro.
Gospel of Juke, Mueller,
There you go.
and J24 Gordon. But they've not been performing recently. Getting swept by a Nip team that's actually really good now. They have Drift, who they got in free agency, and with Dingbat and solid offense in A Dog and logistic map, they went from the bottom of the standings to now in where are they? They're still out of the playoff. Well, I thought they were higher than that. Still out of the playoff, but just barely by 1
Yeah,
point.
1 point out.
And playing, who do they play next week? Playing AmeriCaps next week. They should be able to get 2 out of 3 against that team.
Yeah, you got to figure because those two teams are 7th and 9th. You got to figure either one of those teams sweeps, they're for sure in, and it's kind of almost a playoff game. I feel like at that point, for either of those teams, with how close it is, if you drop 2 out of the 3, you probably miss.
Yeah, I mean, unless question marks gets swept against um Super Monkey Balls, which is possible, but
Yeah,
not
yeah,
likely.
that's kind of the same thing. 6 and 8 separated by 2 points.
So it's going to be an intense last week on B team
Those are the games to watch on B team.
for sure. Okay, then we have my team versus the Isotopes. My team missing Catalyst for the second straight week, maybe missing him this week as well. He's he
He
got
just did he
he
just
got
disappear?
no
Is he just
no
busy
he
or?
got a job and he's
Oh, nice.
moving and I don't even know. He's going to he's moved to Maryland or I think he moved from Pennsylvania to Maryland, but he had to stop somewhere in between. I don't even know, but
Yeah, these are all fair enough reasons to not play tag pro.
yeah. And so to the actual results, my team losing game 1, but storming back for the next 2 games, taking both of them to get the 2 out of 3 victory. Isotopes are now eliminated from the playoffs, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they're
are
10 back of 8.
they are out officially. So you hate to see it for them, but I mean I don't know how they're so low in standings. Like they have very good. They have Goat. They have I don't even remember. They have Goat. They have JH. They have Homer J. They have Ferret. They like that starting four is it's very powerful and I don't know. I guess like having Oink. Sorry, I suck in Adam one. Not the greatest depth options compared to some of these other teams. Maybe they've been dragging down the team, but definitely surprised that they're already out of the playoff.
Yeah, B team's kind of a balancing act, and it's kind of like you said, it's kind of interesting to see how those teams manage the top 4 per se on B team versus the rest, and perhaps maybe they just didn't manage it well. I don't know.
Yeah, they could have done the thing where you put in the starters for 2 games and then you lose game 3 by like 20.
Yeah, hurts the captive, gives you the points. That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
Ralph is too good of a guy to do that though. He's not it's not cheating. What's it called? Scamming?
Yeah, they do
Rule
have
bending? I don't know.
they do have the worst captive on B team by 4. So it could have something to do with that.
Yeah. All right. Final game of the week. Your team, LST versus the Land Before Timers. LST winning 2 out of 3 against the formerly #1 team, now back to third place. Looks like the games aren't even that close. 14-4,
Yeah,
8-4, 9-13. No nail biters here. I saw Rig had that long post on the Tag Pro IRL subreddit. We hope he's okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting one to watch too. I was mute and deaf the entire time, but I was watching it back and forth between some other stuff, and it's kind of exactly what you said. None of them were really close at all.
what was Rig there
Which
though?
Rig was there. He played game 1. I think he sat part of game 2 and played part or all of game 3. I don't remember, but he was there for the entire night.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess the main theme of this game is no results in B team are final, and anything can change. There's no structure to the standings. It's just
Yeah.
a mishmash of teams all on the playoffs.
Yeah, B team is normally not this. You kind of get the balance of teams that only have 4 or 5 players that show up versus the teams that have to rotate 8, 9 guys in. I don't
Yeah,
think we've seen a whole lot of that this season. I know LST at the start of the season, at least we were struggling to field a team of 4. I think we played one game earlier this season with a lone, another team. Um, Kind of didn't have to worry about that the last couple of weeks, but it's going to be interesting heading into playoffs once all these teams go back to playing just their top 4.
yeah. Your team only had 6 players for
And
maximum.
that's Yeah, I think that's the most we've seen all season. I know there was, like I said, I know there was one we only had 3 show up, and even that one was almost had to be a forfeit because I think the third showed up last second. So
So that probably means that your team isn't going to get that much better in the playoffs compared to some of the other teams
yeah, I
that.
mean, it reminds me a lot of last season's LSTB team in the sense that we really only have like 4 or 5 guys that show up consistently, but they're all good guys and they're all fun to play with. It'll be curious to see how they do in playoffs this season because I do think overall it's a slightly weaker team than that Booper winning squad from last season, but I think B team as a whole is kind of weaker than last season, so it should be fun to watch.
I wouldn't even say that they're that much worse. Like rigged potato chip defenses. I don't know many
Yeah, that's
offenses that can break that. They're
yeah, and the halves they've played together, it's kind of shown that they've been able to lock down base. Just even on Emerald last week was pretty impressive.
yeah, just gotta with just more question marks surrounding your team's offense. Victor Messi and Grapparedo. Victor Messi on vacation this week, so I don't think he can
Yep.
play.
I don't believe so. I'm not 100% on that, but I don't believe so.
Okay, good. My B team.
Yeah, great news for you.
Yes. And then LBT, they started off bad. They lost to my team week 1. I don't think they had a good week 2 or 3 either, but now storming back to third place in the standings. Maybe it was the addition of Garrett in free agency that is causing them to skyrocket up the standings. But definitely another team to be scared of going into the playoffs.
B team playoffs are always the most hype. You got best of 7. I love the playoff format. And you've got all these teams that are so close, and you see some shit in B team, and it's just always fun to watch.
But not when you're a captain because it gets
Oh no,
annoying.
I know that feeling too. Don't worry.
All right, so let's get into week 7 predictions, and I guess we can use these to form what we think the playoffs are going to look like. I don't know how we're going to track that. We can just do it in our head or something.
Yeah,
So
we'll figure it out at the end.
so we have LBT versus Pinkfield Isotopes. I mean, LBT that maybe playing on their actual Western servers will give them the give them a chance to not play on Dallas, and maybe with their improved ping, they'll be able to do something. Also, Cat Puke and King Cruel are both central players, so
Yeah.
could be could be playing on like 80 ping or like 70 ping or something. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be surprising if LBT managed to take a game here, but they just they've not shown any signs of being being good at anything really this season.
Yeah, you've got kind of an interesting dynamic with this game too, with LBT already being eliminated and Pingfield right now on the outside looking in due to tiebreakers. Like I said earlier, I think Isotopes will win this week and will end up sneaking into the playoffs. Just you've got the team trying to play spoiler and the team fighting to keep their season going, and I think usually the team fighting for their season kind of prevails on that.
Yeah, probably. So both predicting a sweep here, so that would put them to
That would put them up to 21
points.
points.
All right, next game, our two teams playing each other. You'll be happy to know that Juke Juice is unable to make the game this week, so we're subbing in the legend himself, one of the best players in OLTP last season, iTag Pro, to play.
Oceanic.
Yeah, he's going to be replacing Juke Juice for the whole game. As we've already clinched the number one seed, I don't really care what happens this week.
Yeah, is this with Juke Juice? Is this just a one-off? He's not able to make this week, or just kind of a
Yeah, just a one off. He said he could make it if he needed to, but I'm like, yeah, who cares?
yeah convenient that you've already got number one locked up. So
Yeah, if we didn't, then I mean, I would have a different attitude. But we've
yeah,
earned the rights to mess around for a week.
for sure.
Play with my good friend iTag Pro. So I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, you guys usually beat us in scrims when we have our full team. I don't know how, but it seems like we always scrim you on Sunday, and you always win.
Yeah, the last several weeks we have. It's gonna be. I think it'll be good games. Obviously, y'all not having your top four is gonna. There's gonna be opinions formed one way or the other about it, but I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna sweep you because that's just asking for it to be played back at me for the next several seasons. So I think they'll be good games. I just hope everyone has fun.
Yeah, yeah. I'll call a split just to pick something.
Yeah. All right. So that would move us up to 23 points.
Which is probably that enough to clinch. Yeah.
That would clinch. We only need 1 point technically to clinch, and I'd have to look at the scenario again. But the only way we miss is if we get swept, and like 3 other games are all sweeps in a specific direction. And I think that involves the second place team getting swept,
So
which could happen. But
unlikely.
there's a lot that has to go wrong
Yeah.
for us to miss the playoffs.
Damn, I don't want to play you guys. I don't know if we're just cursed against you or
I mean, I'm okay with that if you are cursed against us.
All right, next game we have Manipulation Station versus Bank of Americaps. Two teams top in the top half of the standing. Manip Station in sixth, Bank of Americaps in third. Bank of Americaps not doing too well recently. It's tough. I just think that Sonder making vacant defense is going to be too strong for the Prime and Big Brother offense. I think that, especially on Tectanic, I don't know, however you say it.
Titanic.
Whatever. On that map, they're going to have trouble getting out. Maybe on Rush/Dash, they can get out easier since there's like more space. So I think.
Yeah, can we just talk about how bad of a map Titanic is? I don't like that we're playing it, but we have to.
Yeah.
I do think so. As far as predictions wise for this game, if you remember, I think these were the two teams I both said were weaker on paper than their standings put them. I think this is going to come down to which BOA team shows up. If the start of the season BOA team shows up where they were kind of killing everybody, I don't think Nips get a point here. I actually, prior to going over these reviews, I had Nips being the team that actually falls out.
Really?
But Americaps has been kind of struggling recently, like you said. I know they've dropped a few games the last couple weeks. I think Nips can certainly beat them, but yeah, that defense is going to be tough to overcome on these two maps. I'd be surprised if it's a sweep. I think it'll probably end up being a split, but it could easily go either way.
Yeah, I mean I'd agree because I on Dash it takes so long to get across the map and Zeus grabbing with no regard for OD or the flag that may cause
Yeah.
some cap trains. So yeah, I think you're probably right. Nips taking Dash and Bank of Americaps taking Tectanic is more
Yeah, I think that
result.
that would be my guess too. So that would put Americaps to 28 and Nips to 22.
which is enough to clinch the
which
playoffs.
is enough to clinch. That would put them one ahead of Topes in our scenario.
All right, next we have Super Monkey Balls versus the question mark team. Question mark team in second place, but getting split last week against Manipulation Station. I think it depends on whether Jerry shows up. If Jerry
Mm-hmm.
doesn't show up, they're getting swept. Question marks is just they're not going to be able to stop Boulder Roller and 360
Bold's
Bros.
been on a tear this
Yeah,
season.
8 tag coin player will get into best value award later.
Most likely, yeah.
But if Jerry shows up, it's going to be a split because Jerry can carry that team, and if he's there, then they're not going to. It'll be hard to get reset. But if he's not there, then I think it's a pretty easy sweep for question marks.
Yeah, this is kind of a similar to that dynamic with what was it, Land Before Timers and Isotopes, but the question marks is already clinched. I think. Yeah, they've already
Mm-hmm.
clinched. And with a sweep, Super Monkey Balls guarantees themselves getting in. I think you're right. If Jerry shows up, that it's possible. I do think the split's probably most likely here, just for the fact that question marks might get a little sloppy knowing the season's done, or at least they've clinched. And I don't think they can't get the first seed. I guess they could fall to 3 or
Yeah, they
4. I'm
could
not sure how the
fall
tiebreaks
fall to
work.
4 if they get swept. If they split, I I who knows. Well,
Yeah,
we can
they
look
could
at
easily
squid.
win game 1, get sloppy, and get a split in there, and then Super Monkey Balls gets some points.
Yeah, look at squid. We can look at squid sheet for that tiebreaker.
Oh,
But
gotta parse through that thing. Ugh.
yeah. So I guess for this thing we're keeping track, we'll call it a split. But
Yeah, I think most likely you see the sweep from question marks, but you never know. So I do think it's Nips or Super Monkey Balls is going to be the team looking out here, and it hinges on this game.
yeah, probably. All right. Next we have the Weed the People versus the Handoff God. The Handoff God already has been eliminated from the playoffs. Only 6 points on the season. So I mean, we the people have shown they can beat up on these bottom of the standings teams. They've done it for the past 2 weeks, so I don't think there's any reason
I
to
don't
think.
expect that to change. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. Handoff God. I don't know if they'll just put their B teamers out there or something, but all of the players have lost interest on the season. There's just no way that they can take points here. So
Yeah, this is and it's same thing with a sweep. We the people guarantees playoffs. I think this is an easy prediction of a sweep for them.
that puts them to 22.
22.
All right, and then the last game is Bohemian Capacity versus the Krusty Grabs. The Krusty Grabs has already been eliminated, so we're in the same situation as the last game. So pretty easy
Yeah,
BCC sweep.
I think prior to the season started, I actually really liked the Krusty Grabs team lineup. I'm kind of surprised to see them be 2-10. I think they could take one just for the simple fact that they've clinched. The other team's clinched, but yeah, Cap City probably. If you just look at the numbers, they probably sweep here.
Yeah, I mean BCC can drop to sixth place if
Yeah,
many things happen. So this
nobody
is
wants to fall down there. This 6th seed is a curse.
why does the succeed a curse?
It's just always a curse. Definitely no personal bias against me blowing 3-1 leads as the 6th seed multiple seasons in a row.
Oh no.
Yeah. Actually, we may have been 5 last season, but it seems like every season I've done that, it's been from the 5 or the 6. So I'd like to avoid those seeds.
maybe I'll let you sweep us just so that doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
that'd be great. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so where does it
Yeah.
where does that leave us for the playoff standings?
So by my math, with what we've come up with, we have Super Monkey Balls on the outside looking in. Um, that matchup's pretty tough. That's this week drawing question marks. Um, if they were to get the sweep in, they would vault up, and we'd have a tie, or no, we'd have Topes looking looking in at 21 points. Again, that is calling a lot of splits, which is boring. There aren't. Have there been that many splits this season on A team?
I don't know.
I don't think we've had very. I think we had one split with an overtime win and a loss like week 2, but other than that, I think it's either been sweep or get swept. I feel like that's kind of a pattern.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. By our predictions, we've got Super Monkey Balls on the outlooking in, but there's 4 teams that I think need to be very, very aware of what's going on in other games.
All of the teams do besides my team and the bottom 3, because
Yeah,
besides
lots of
question.
jockeying for position going on this week.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Now to the B team predictions. First game, Land Before Timers versus Pinkfield Isotopes. Opposite situation as to their A team game. Isotopes out of the playoffs. Land Before Timers in the 3rd seed, but with the B team standings that's closer than A team, then it'll be an intense week. But I think I mean, I don't know whether they can get the sweep. I think Isotopes are
Yeah,
too good to
B team is
get swept.
so much harder to predict, especially predicting sweeps given having to balance minutes. But looking at, I mean, I didn't actually notice this until now. LBT's got a negative cap diff, and they're all the way up in the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It's probably happened, but I don't know if I've ever seen that before. But yeah, you've got Pinkfield already out of the playoffs. Land Before Timers is fighting for position pretty hard. I think they take at least 2, probably all 3. So
I
they've been playing well recently.
I'd say more likely Isotopes get a game. Their top 4 is just too good. I think that now playing on the Western service. I think they're actually a more central based team though. I don't know
Mhm.
actually, but Ralph is still looking for B team scrims this entire week, so they're still they haven't completely given up. They're still trying. So
Yeah, 2 out of 3 for LBT is probably you're probably right then.
that puts them up to 39 points.
39. Mm-hmm.
Okay, next game is. Oh, we were supposed to go backwards for these. Okay, whatever.
Whoops.
Okay, next game, my team versus your team, 1 versus 2. It I think it depends on whether Catalyst can make it. If Catalyst can
Yeah,
make it,
these are gonna be fun games to watch. And I'm sure the rules haven't changed, but is iTag gonna be able to play B team in addition to playing A team
yeah,
this week?
yeah, he
I'm
can
assuming
play.
he will.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. These are gonna be fun games to watch. 1 point separating them. Caps for, caps against are super similar. This is tough to call. I would like to say LST takes 2 out of these 3. Um, gonna depend on who all can make it, who all's there. I think if you just look at the top 4 players on each team, I think LST takes 2 out of them. But it's gonna be fun to watch, is all I'll say.
yeah. Top 4 wise, if Catalyst isn't here, then your team definitely has the better top 4. If Catalyst is here, then I'd argue my team has the better top 4. But my team
Yeah,
also would have 8 players if Catalyst showed up, so that'd be kind of tough to
yeah.
balance them
Having to
out.
rotate the B team blessing and a curse.
Yeah. So 2 out of 3 for one of the teams. I can't go
Uh,
out and predict that my team's going to lose on the
Yeah,
podcast.
for
So.
yeah, for the sake of seeding, I think we have to go with the team that's in front takes 2 out of 3. So we'll give LST the
No,
6
no, no.
points.
Okay, how about we say LST gets 5 points?
Is that 5 points and 4 points?
Yeah.
Then is that how that math works out? All right. Well, we'll call it that just for fun. That puts you to 38.
Yeah.
It would drop you to the 3 seed though if LBT gets 2 out of 3.
God, I don't want to be. I guess we better take those 2 out of 3 then.
you, you, there. I haven't watched a lot of B team games this season, but this is one I will for sure be there for.
Hopefully, hopefully we get a good streamer.
All right. Next up, Super Monkey Balls question marks, or we? Oh, no, we were doing the
Wait,
wrong order. Nips Bank of
yeah.
America.
So
Oh,
middle low. That's not middle to low of the standings. Seventh,
playoff battle right here.
seventh and ninth
7 and 9.
place, separated by 3 points. So whoever wins the series vaults into playoffs, and whoever loses the series probably is eliminated unless question marks get swept,
Yeah.
or if they only take one game, which is possible. Honestly, we'll get to that in a
Yeah,
minute.
let's see. With the two maps we're playing, I think they're going to play so differently. With Dash being very very holdy and Titanic, in my opinion, not being. Going to be. I think Manips or the Nips have a better team on paper, especially the way they've been playing recently.
Yeah,
But yeah, with it being the 7 versus the 9, I mean, this is so close for playoffs. It's hard to call a sweep one way or the other. Um, God, these teams are pretty evenly matched, honestly.
yeah, it definitely will be a 2 out of 3. But as you said, Manipulation been on a tear recently. They're just I've never thought I've ever thought BOA has been a little high in the standings as to
Yeah,
compared to how good they actually are. Like their roster, they don't have the firepower that most of these other teams have. Yeah, they have Slob. Yeah, they have Cooler, but with like Jelly Rat, Hell Yeah, Pen 15, Smalley Bigs 18, XYZ. None of those guys are like players you could rely on to spark plug a run if they're down.
yeah,
So
yeah. I think that's pretty accurate. I think they'll have the skills to get one of them, but I do think Nips come out on top here, which would interestingly give us a tie for both of them at 31 points.
yeah, but obviously Nips getting the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Yep.
Okay, next we have Super Monkey Ball versus question marks. Another big playoff game, 6 seed versus the 8 seed. Question mark not been playing too hot recently, but it will depend on Inspire and Blackberry. How much can they carry this team? Super Monkey Balls. They have so many players. They have
Yeah, I was gonna say they've got the curse of having too many players. I feel like
they
this
they have
season.
11 players on the B team. Okay, well, 2 of them are inactive, and I think 3 of them are inactive actually. But still having 8 players.
Yep.
DYD Robiny Huskies. That guy's actually pretty good, but having those they aren't like starting caliber, so they may get dragged down by those guys.
Yeah. Let's see. Question marks. We're looking at. Let's see. It looks like is Clay playing 18 for them now? I feel like he's B
Is
still. I
who?
don't know.
Oh,
S-
Thurkley. Yeah, he's on
Yeah.
B. It's
Yeah. So
labeled
Clay,
18.
Gordon, Mueller. That's a really strong starting three for B team, in my opinion. Um, I think question marks takes this. I think Super Monkey Balls is kind of they're gonna not necessarily be hurt by having to rotate, but it's not gonna help their chances.
Yeah,
It looks like
for sure.
Pidgeot is gonna have probably only 4 or 5. I guess Snaxophone, Sergeant Ducky, Stink. I don't know how active they've been. Um,
I don't think.
I think they'll probably take it in the long run. I don't think because you can't play Inspire and Blackberry all 60 minutes.
Yeah, you can play him for the first 2 games. Though I know Graham doesn't have an objection to a moral objection to doing a throw game. He's done a few of those throw games in some of the past weeks, but
Yeah, this is one if the teams are taking the top 4, I'd almost call a sweep for Super Monkey Balls, but they can't yet. That starts next week.
maybe, or they get knocked out, and
It's true, or they get knocked out and can miss it.
so
You got to figure they're taking at least one for sure.
mhm.
depending on if they do exactly what you're saying, play the first two games, and really try to carry their way through, they could take both. I don't think they'll get the sweep. I like to think Super Monkey Balls does get the two with Graham playing them that way.
I don't know though, because they did it that they kind of did. No, they didn't really do it that way. Well, no, they put Blackberry in for game 1 and game 2 against my team, and they scammed Inspire. They got him to 50 minutes, even though
Oh,
they only put DYD in for game 3, and then one of the guys disappeared, so there's no way to do it besides play Inspire 50. But
I see.
they're not even invincible just with their top 4, and I've been saying question marks good entire season. They've let me down a lot, but I face that my players are gonna finally pick it up. I'll say question marks take 2 out of 3. Close
All
games,
right, so
but
that would put them what 6 points up, so 32, and that would put Monkey Balls at 32. Right? Am I reading that right? 32, 32.
yeah.
Which would put them both in,
So that's great.
I think.
Yeah.
I think actually that might be the playoff. I'm not sure. We'd have to get through the rest of them.
Okay,
All
so
right.
there's 2 more games. Weed the People, Handoff God. Weed the People already eliminated. Handoff God still looking in, but hot recently. Took 2 out of 3 week 5. Took 3 out of 3. Did they take? I don't even remember now. No, they took taking 2 out of 3 the past 2 weeks. Poet's making a big difference. So I mean, Weed the People. They don't have anything to play for. So I don't think they'll
Yeah.
sprint and handoff
I think
God.
this is.
It's their week to finally explode. So I'll call handoff
Yeah, I'd
God
agree with
sweep.
that. I think so too. I think you've hit that kind of on the head there. And of God, 9 points puts them at 32, which leaves We the People down. Okay.
Okay, so let's do the last one. BCC versus Krusty Grabs. Two very solid teams, but way different forms recently. Krusty Grabs 2 sweeps in a row. I think maybe they only took 2 out of 3 week 5, and BCC not doing too well, getting swept and losing 2 out of 3 last week. So, I mean, just going by those trends, I don't see how BCC wins the series, but they'll probably still take a game, especially on more Western servers on Dallas. I think that it's Dallas and Chicago split. Gilly Ball is really good. Ghost is really good. No one likes Bert. He's sometimes good.
Yeah, this is because I don't think if Krusty. I think Krusty Grabs is still in playoffs, even if they get swept with them already being at 33. At least by the math we've done, that's enough to guarantee them. BCC. Yeah, if they sweep, obviously would get in. I really like this Krusty Grabs B team personally. If I had to pick a Booper matchup right now, I would pick Split and Temple versus Krusty Grabs. So I think that they probably end up winning this week and kind of shutting the door on BCC. Krusty Grabs has the best captive on B team, which is probably the best indicator as far as the well-roundedness of your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really like them in this matchup, even though, like you said, BCC's got some really good players. I really like KGB here.
So are you calling a sweep?
See, that's the problem. BCC has enough good players to get one. I don't think they get two. I think KGB takes 2 out of these 3.
So where does that leave our final playoff
Let's see.
game?
KGB taking 2 out of 3 puts them at 39. BCC at 32. So by our math, that would put LST in first, and then LBT and KGB tied for second at 39 points, 1 point back of them. I don't know what the tiebreaker is there. Miami in fourth.
Come on,
You
we can't
have
let that
one,
happen.
two. Then you have four teams at 32 points, which would round out the top eight. It'd be question marks, Super Monkey Balls, Handoff God, and BCC, with Bank of America and Nips being 1 point out.
Wow.
Yeah, B team is close.
So a lot on the line. Anything could
Yeah,
happen.
those last two games are going to be very big games to watch.
I think they're all early games this week.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I
Yeah,
haven't done that much
the West,
research.
the latest game besides the West Coast game is at 9:30. You have
Oh boy.
8:52, 9:30, 8:45, 9. Oh, there's one at 9:45. Okay, so kind of spaced
Which
out.
one's at 9:45?
BCC Krusty Grab. So the two games we're
Nice.
looking at are 45 minutes apart. So
Okay.
so
So
Bank of
there's
America.
a chance by then that there's a chance by then that Krusty Grabs. Well, I guess with them already being at 33, they would have clinched by then,
Yeah,
depending on how the earlier games go.
but yeah, Bank of America and Nip Station will know. Will have a good idea of what they need to do to.
All right.
Okay, well that leaves us with awards for both leagues. So let's get right into it. A team, most valuable ball. Hard to say. I mean, it depends on how we're defining it. Are we defining it as who's the best player in the league, or which player, when if you take out that player, causes that team to drop the furthest in the standings?
Yeah, that's always
I
kind of
like
the question.
I like that second definition better.
I do too. It kind of keeps away people being considered just because they're on a super stacked team, but there's a reason their team is super stacked if they're on it. I mean, just looking at raw stats, which it seems like these awards like to go off of, followed closely by who gets the best brigade. Miami's got, according to TGASP, at least three of the top four players and four of the top six. I think it's be hard pressed to not pick someone from Miami to
Yeah,
win this
but
award.
who
But who? Because
probably Sugar,
yeah,
because if you take Sugar out, then well, we just put Tutus on defense if Sugar disappeared or something. But
yeah, Sugar has the 10 T gasp, but doesn't have above 9 on either of the other two. Whereas you've got Squid with the 10-0 gasp, yourself with a 9.8 D. It's. I think Sugar too. I think pre-draft Sugar was one of my favorite as far as preseason candidates for best player. Um, I think it's probably Sugar here.
yeah, she's definitely carrying me more than Tutus carrying
And we
Squid.
all
So
know how difficult that
yeah.
is.
And then, okay, who outside of people on my team? Yeah, Mr. Awesome. You got Sonder. Yeah, Carr with a K, I think is a good a good
I
contender
like
for
Carl
that.
for the FU Gasp Award personally, just because his Gasp isn't great. Um, but yeah, that's kind of I think he kind of got the short end of the stick being the team that he's on. No offense to anybody on the Nips. I think Carl's far and away the best player on that team, and if we go by that definition of if you take them out, whose team gets the worst, I think that's probably there. I like Sonder a lot. I like Mr. Awesome a lot. At the end of the day, the Nips have a good brigade, though, so who
We
knows?
also can't forget Bull Driller on offense.
Yeah, I don't know, but are we talking MVB or are we
Yeah,
talking offensive ball this season?
still MVP.
Okay, yeah.
So they well Brigade isn't going to be as powerful. I don't know if they've announced this. I don't know if I'm like leaking anything here, but they've announced that the award process is changing. So it's going to be
Thank God. It's about time.
captains' votes are counting as 50%, and you can't vote for anyone on your own team as a captain. And then community votes count as 50%, so it's going to be 50,
Okay,
50,
that
50
that is
balance.
huge.
That might
That's
be a
only
reach,
like
but
that's only like 20 seasons too late.
yeah,
But it's progress. We love to see that.
yeah. So
I
just to finalize, we have to pick three. We have to pick three players. So
like Sugar. I think she'll get the most votes from the captains
mhm,
outside of yourself.
yeah,
Mr. Awesome's been a pretty important character on BCC, and like you said, Carl and Bold have both been anchors on their teams. I know they're not super happy with probably where their positions are in the standings, but like you said, if you go with that definition, they're the carry balls there.
yeah. I don't want to give it to. I don't want to put three defenders in the top three. So we should put
Yeah,
one
but
here and
I mean, one of the best players in the league are all defenders.
yeah, true. But we have
Yeah,
G-Boss for a reason. I
that's true.
like his
That's
two
true.
on three split. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways, on to offensive ball of the season. Bold roller, as we already said. And then the
yeah.
main next question is Squid versus Juke Juice. Who's better? Juke Juice is more hold. Squid with more caps, sort of. Tough to say.
Yeah, I know in scrims, Squid has been like the most infuriating player to play against. Anytime I'm stuck trying to contain him, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
And I like to think that my defense has gotten better. I yeah, I think Squid's probably a shoe in here. Either him or Bold, personally.
yeah,
Um,
those two definitely are
but
top
I
two.
mean, Squid's so far ahead in caps. He's not super high up on hold. I mean, Zeus has what 700 seconds more hold than him. He's 11th, but hold isn't the most important thing on offense. It's up there, but
Yeah,
I would rather have 55 caps and
yeah,
be 7 clear of everybody else. I think if we had to pick 3 people though, it'd be Squid, Bold, and I don't want to get. I don't want to say 2 people from Miami. Um, could happen,
yeah. I mean,
but
I don't think there's any other like high contenders for it. Like Zeus maybe, but
Zoo, yeah,
he's cost them a lot of caps by playing like in
yeah.
that way.
Statistically, Zeus has the really good numbers, but yeah, it's the number of times he puts him in kind of a bad situation hurts his chances to win that award.
Druva's fourth place in both hold and caps. Maybe
See,
him.
the problem with me and Drufa is that we each like alternate playing offense one week. So we kind of like have our off weeks. Like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when we played Bank of America caps, like I had all the O stats and he had none. And then like last week was the opposite. I had a tiny amount and he destroyed it. So it I think that hurts his chances
Hmm.
for that. But I mean he's what, fourth
Fourth in
in
both.
hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So dark horse candidate.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you kind of have to give it to both people on my team here.
The captain's votes are going to be interesting to see because maybe they'll be hesitant to vote for 2 people on the same team, and then that opens the door for someone else to step in.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, who knows? Honestly. Okay. Now on to defensive ball of the season. So, three people we named for MVB are
Yeah,
probably
it depends on
top
who wins
three.
the MVP.
Well,
Yeah,
we
it's
named
this, it's
four people: Awesome, Sonder, Sugar, Carl with a K. We have to kick one of them out. I don't really know
yeah.
who it would be.
I think Sugar wins the MVP, so that would knock her out. But yeah, Mr. Awesome could easily win this. I think he's a shoe in for a different award, but Saunders obviously had a great season. Carl's had a good season on his team. I mean, Super Diglett kind of came up out of nowhere. The first 2 weeks we kind of struggled on both sides, but I thought our defense kind of struggled a little bit. And then after week 2, kind of had like 3 defenders jockeying for 2 spots, and Dig like basically cemented his starting role. And since then, I mean, at one point he had the 10D gasp. Um, I think he's kind of going to benefit from maybe people don't want to vote for Miami players after all the other awards. but I don't think we can take him out of that conversation either.
Yeah, I on most seasons he would probably get in, but the season
It's
it's
so
too
heavy
stacked.
at the top on defense. Yeah,
There's just no room for him. Easily.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay, next we have rookie of the season. Only obviously Mr. Awesome
Yeah,
Lamar.
obvious.
Is there
That's an
even
obvious one. I don't even. I was about to say I don't know if there are any other rookies on a team. Um,
yeah,
is
I don't
Glegg
even know.
a
Gleg
rookie?
is a
I guess.
rookie, yes. So and
That's the only other one I can think of.
then we have all of Nips besides Carl.
That's true. I guess that's true.
Young Breezy
Yeah,
is also an
this
18
isn't. I
rookie.
mean, Breezy played 18 back in like season
That
5. Like, does that
I
count?
don't think so. You also have Overkill. You have Sugar technically because this is her first A-team season. So
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
that's pushing it there, Jarvis.
Yeah, I don't think that counts. So
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I mean, awesome, Mr. Awesome's going to win that award. Second or third, I mean, Glegg is the only other rookie I can think of, like true rookie to A team.
yeah.
So,
So we'll have Awesome Glegg and then one of the manipulations
one of
team.
the manips. Yeah.
Okay, now we have best valued. That would need. No, I wrote down these already when for the captain's
I have to-
choices. So I have Sugar, Bold, Squid, and Zeus written down.
yeah, I don't have the draft packet up in front of me, and I should. Let me try to find it. What did I mean? Bold went for pretty cheap,
Bold
didn't
went
he?
for 8, Sugar went for
Yeah.
19, Squid went for 11, Zeus went for like 10, I think.
Jeez.
Uh, uh
God, what were the captains doing when you were drafting?
I probably
Um,
not intelligent things.
yeah, I think, I mean, the Bold was the cheapest there. I mean, I think he has that case for him. I mean, he's going to be probably the cheapest offender on A team, and he's probably going to win, or he's got a decent chance to win OBS. I like Bold there. I like Squid there. I think Sugar's going to have one too many awards for there to want to give her another one. And she technically was the most expensive of that crew, so.
Yeah, but she was only a fifth of my budget.
Yeah, which
If
is
you think
nutty
of
to
that.
think about. Yeah, that is kind of nutty to think about. But Squid was even cheaper.
Okay, I just linked you the board if you want. Look so.
All right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, let's see.
God, so slow.
Uh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I think it's prior to us starting the conversation, I had Bold listed as my number one for that award. Um, but yeah, it could be any of those same couple people we've talked about for every one of
Yeah.
these things.
All right.
Drufa didn't go for too much, but I mean, when you think about it, he went for more than all of those people listed, and he's top 5 offender in the league statistically, and I mean, in my opinion, he definitely is. So, but yeah, all those players that went cheaper on that defensive side that are just playing so good.
Yeah, there's just no room. There's too many.
I will say I will say Lamatron for 0. When we drafted him, we were kind of thinking, why is nobody bidding on this guy? We understood he's Western, but we went into the draft planning on being a Central team anyway, so we were kind of shocked to see him at 0. I know we didn't start him week 1. He's been kicking ass on A team since we started him, and at 0, I mean he doesn't get much cheaper.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the stats to be up at the top of all those leaders, so it's gonna kind of go unnoticed. But definite shout out to Llama.
Yeah. I know what it felt like to do that last season. Exact same thing happened to me. Okay. Anyways, next we have most improved. So I had written down Prime, Big Brother, Unit 01, Squid, Nipple, you, and Gleg.
Let's see. I've been impressed with Big Brother. I know before the season started, if I pull up my BBB, I think three of the starting four for Nips I had pretty low on that board. I've been impressed with Big Brother a lot, and playing with him in TPM too. I've been impressed by him. This is his first season on A Team, isn't it?
Yeah, this is only his third season in general.
Yeah, I mean it's hard the first season up on A Team. I remember doing that, and he's had a good season. I feel like. Let me see. Where are we at here? Uh, where is he? I don't know. Who were the other ones you listed?
Prime, Unit 01, Squid, Nipple, You, and
What
Gleg.
did what did Squid do last season? Is he coming back from a break, or is he just
Yeah, he didn't
first
play
kind of
last
stuff?
season, and season 19, he had a disappointing season on LBT. They missed playoffs. He had a six
Okay.
point three O gasp. So
Yeah, I mean to go from that to 10-0 gasp and second best T gasp is a huge improvement. God, are we really going to give all the awards to Miami? This is bullshit.
I mean, I like to think we deserve it, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, you kind of. At one point, I was saying you were going to pull off what Fear Factor couldn't do. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for Anze, you didn't. And we're going to do our best to not let that happen this week too. But yeah, it's that's a tough one to pick this season. Most improved. I feel like that's always a tough one to pick.
yeah, because then you don't want to imply that someone was so bad before.
Hard to go purely off stats too, because if you're on a tough team and it's hard to show up near any top statistically. It kind of can make you look worse than you were or better than you are, and it's a tough one to pick.
All right, next we have well-rounded. So I think this wasn't even on the award nomination, so I'll have to think of this right now. So Squid and
Yeah.
I mean Squid kinda, but I meant Sugar, Juke Juice. You kind of have to put those two
So this is
aside.
one that I'm going to be okay with giving to Miami for the sole fact that I'm still miffed about not winning this award in season 4, or season 3, whatever it was,
Season
season
three,
4.
yeah.
Sugar's got 8.20, 8.8D. She's the only one that has gasp for both stats over 8. I think she's the only one that has them both over 7. Um, I've been saying since season 4 that I was robbed that season, so I will 100% back her for this one. Um, Outside of that, you got to look at two-way balls. I think Juke Juice, Saunders played exceptionally well on both sides. Super Diglets had a couple highlight plays on O that we don't need to be putting him on O because he's so good on D, but he's been doing it really well both sides. But yeah,
Gleg's been playing both this season as well, I think.
yeah, I feel like there's not a ton of two-way balls this season, but somehow, some way, Sugar's managed to rack up those stats, and it's hard to scoff at that.
So yeah, you had the yet another award. It's like
I know.
four or something for
I'm just gonna
her.
take some other ones away.
Okay, and then the last award for 18 is FU Gaff. We already said Carl,
Yeah, I mean he does have a 9.2, which is kind of high to give an FU Gasp award to.
but I think it's
At least
looking at
on
T Gaff.
yeah, looking at T Gas. I mean, if we're gonna go with the FU Gasp award, I like to look at people under 8. For this, I feel like that you could almost. I don't know what the requirements are to qualify this award, but I think if you wanted to quantify it, you had to. This has to be somebody with a T Gasp under 8. So that would be Rick G, Ginseng, FU, Breezy. Um, Carl is right there. I know I said it before we started. I think Carl probably should win that award.
Yeah,
Um,
probably. Also, shout
some
outs
other,
to Gleg, Gat Puke, Unit 01. They Gleg's been a pretty big part of that team, especially when Gary isn't
yeah,
there. Cat Puke is probably the best raw player on his team who's fighting for playoffs, and then Unit 01, good compliment to Carl, but he'll probably get kicked out of the top three.
Yeah, we I know we said earlier with Isotopes that they played very boring and it was frustrating to lose to them week one when they played very boring. If you had to pick a highlight player on that team, it's probably Cap Puke, and he would qualify for the award by my makeshift standards. So
All right, so that brings us to a B team. First award, most valuable ball. I mean, Inspire, Blackberry. Kind of hard to like not to say them. Probably Inspire if we had to pick one of them, but there's not really that many like runaway candidates besides
I
Inspire,
mean,
I would say.
Naga's statistically Naga's destroying everybody. Let me pull up the leaders for B team, but I'm pretty sure he's got the 10T gasp. B team leaders, yeah, Inspire's got him on returns and tags, which yeah, I don't know. I think it's you can't leave him out of the conversation. This is actually the first time I've looked at B team stats. Hibana, shout out Vigil with the leading and prevent. Um, yeah, it's going to come down to Inspire and Naga, in my opinion. Another just defensive awards, but I don't really see too many other true carry balls on B team, and
Yeah, it's
I,
tough this season. Gilly Ball maybe he's been carrying that offense. Without him there, that offense would never get out of base.
yeah, for sure.
But there's like not really anyone. Potato chip, potato chip that much of a carry ball? You think?
Yeah, P-Chip and Rig. P-Chip can be. I think if you gave Rig a full season on B team and we didn't swipe him for A team for a couple of weeks, I think he'd be in conversation for this. I think our B team got really really good, and they've been playing really really good since we moved him to B team. I think if we gave him full minutes all season, he'd be in this conversation. But it's hard to give somebody that
Yeah.
award that's got not full minutes.
So we have we'll just say number one Inspire, number two
Yeah, Spire,
Naga.
Naga, Gilly Ball,
Gilly.
probably.
All right. Then for offensive ball of the season, Gilly, as we already said. Also, Blackberry is up there with I think she still has 100 onus. Not sure though.
Yeah.
And then After hasn't had he sometimes he's like really good, other times he's just like average. So I wouldn't want to give it to him. Slob maybe first in captures, 10th in holds.
Yeah.
D's
Yeah,
A
I
dog.
wasn't too hot. Yeah, I wasn't too high on Slob before the season started, but she's put together a really good season. Obviously Jay Swan dropping down to B team has kind of been on a tear since then. But again, same kind of thing with Rig. It's hard to give that award to somebody that's played less than a full season. Um, I like Peachip here too. I know he's not super high up on the leaderboards, but Peachip's been an anchor on the offense for
I thought he's
LST.
playing D mostly.
Is he? I thought he was playing. He's been playing a lot of O.
I mean, he's too higher gasp for D than
Oh,
O.
I guess he is then. Huh? I don't know. I show so much B team I've watched. So
Yeah, so Gilly, Steve, Aster, Blackberry. It's hard to say who the actual top three would be.
B team awards are same as standings. They're hard to really pick. It's hard to watch all of B team minutes. There's what 7 games a week or 6 games a week and 60 minutes. It's a lot.
And then for defensive ball of the season, can't give it to Inspire because we already have him for
Yeah.
most valuable.
Yeah.
Perpetualist actually is a 10D gas, so I was not expecting that as I just looked
Yeah,
at it.
I like Perpetualist. I like Hibana or Vigil, whatever you want to call him.
Is
Gonna
he
be
that good though? Like I still think
Statistically, he's up there, but I don't know if stats are wrong. But he's got a huge lead in prevent. He's got a 9.6 DAS. Like, I mean, yeah, true. He's an egg ball player that's come over, but we've seen some success from them.
I feel like he's cost you too much, and like he has a lot of non-job pops, I think, and
It's
still
true.
bad game sense as any egg baller does when they first move to the
Yeah,
league.
that is a learning curve.
He's not even a starter on your team, so I don't see how we could
Yeah.
move him. But
Yeah.
Naga's still up there. Naga Inspire. Potato
Yeah,
chip
I
maybe.
mean,
It's
yeah,
tough.
if you have Nog in the
Um,
conversation for MVB, it just makes sense to have him for DBOS if he doesn't get it.
Shout out to Burt Reynolds also coming in with the 9.39 DGASP. He's been a solid anchor, especially since Catalyst hasn't been able to show up very much.
Fat Booty Dion. Great name.
Yeah, is that supposed to reference something that I'm unaware of?
I don't know. I just think it's funny. This is coming from the guy that played a season as your boy Fat PP. So
All right, rookie of the season, Hibana, definitely
yeah,
Deptonic, big pickup in free agency for my team.
yeah. E-team rookies. This is not something I'm going to be able to name off the top of my head.
I don't think
Um,
there's that many this season scrolling through the rosters. There doesn't
yeah,
appear to be like like any. I think the only ones you can have are um Deptonic and well Inspire has Inspire played before? I don't know actually. Let's check.
he played several seasons ago. I had him on my team in like season 8,
Season
or
7.
9, whatever 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
But
know
I
I
I
don't know
hadn't
if
seen him
that
since
counts.
then. So
That probably
yeah,
doesn't
I hadn't
count.
seen him since then. So yeah,
So assuming he's eligible, he obviously wins it.
yeah, for
And
sure.
then Hibana, Diptonic. No one else really to challenge them. Best valued.
This
I
is where we got to delve through the draft
yeah.
packet.
Who did I have written down? Inspire for round 3, 4, one of those two. Ferret.
Yeah, he looks like round 3 of B team, or I guess 3 of the Snakes,
Mhm.
7th
Ferret.
roster.
Ferret was drafted low. He's been powerful. Thanos ball too.
Yeah,
Thanos has been destroying it this season.
yeah,
Drafted
he's had a really good
and
season.
then
He was late.
not trying as a rookie too. We forgot about him. So not trying has
Is he a rookie? I feel like he's been around
he's
forever. Maybe that's just in
yeah,
pubs,
he's just
but
been in pubs forever. So we have to put it he'd probably place second
yeah,
in rookie this season. So those four for best value
yeah, for sure.
in
Yeah,
Immortal.
Scrapper was 8th round for us on LST, or I guess 4th round B team. He's been great this season. I don't think we had anybody after him actually show up that we drafted. So
Good. Okay. What are we? Most improved. Um, I'd written down Frodo Ballins, Dingbat, Jur 32, and Thanos. Thanos was bad for most of the time that he played. Last season, he was on the worst team in the league. He was just like a fourth ball, but now he's really good. Frodo Ballins was just
yeah,
some random rookie last season. Now he's been a good contributor for Krusty Krab, Dingbat, solid defender, Sure 32, starting O for a fifth place B team? Fifth place B team.
yeah. I would say probably because I didn't pay much attention to B team last season, as we probably have well established. Jur 32 kind of jumped out to me at first. Like you said, Thanos Balls had a really, really good season for somebody that historically I've thought wasn't greatest. Um, those two are probably the only two that really jump out at me. Borges, like I mentioned earlier, has had a great season. The problem was he had a great season last season. I think last season was kind of his coming out, and I think he's gotten a lot better, but he was already at the front. It's hard to give it that award to.
Yeah,
So
he's a bad stat this season, I think, compared to,
yeah,
let's see. Um, yeah, he is one higher T gasp this season, so
that's higher.
true, but I don't
Stats don't tell the whole story, Jarvis. You know that.
true, but
They help.
yeah. Okay, well-rounded ball.
So this is where I'd like to go back to P-Chip.
Yeah.
Because I knew he'd been playing a lot of offense. He's kind of in the same boat as I mentioned for Sugar. 7 O gasp, 9.2 D gasp. I think there's a couple B teamers that have that high numbers in both. Naga's 7.3 and 9.9.
How does Bert have it?
Um,
What the hell?
yeah, Bert.
Okay,
I
we
don't
can't
know.
give it to him.
We
That's a
can't. Yeah,
cam
we definitely
stat.
can't give it to Bert. Definitely can't give it to Bert. Well-rounded is, yeah. I think you've got a couple guys that stand out. Naga, Inspire again, even though he's only got a 2 O gasp. I think if you were to move him on O, he'd be just as dominant on O as he was on D or is on D. But he's obviously not playing a lot of defense or offense. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be biased to those people that have
Mhm.
really high gasps in both, and that's gonna be Naga and P-Chip.
Shout out to Burt Reynolds yet again. He was first in holds per grab for a fair amount of the season, and he's still third in holds per grab now. He's
If that's easy as a defender when you've only making like 2 grabs a game.
true, but I mean,
Still impressive.
yeah. Okay, and then last B team award, FU Gasp,
Let's
Blackberry,
see.
at Blackberry, not trying, J24 Gordon, Ferret, Reyna slash Day, and Catalyst. Well, Catalyst doesn't really count because he only is 120 minutes, so that's influencing.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at those people hovering right around 8 T gas or below. I mean, those were all kind of names you're not trying. J24, A Dog kind of jump out to me. A Dog's been around for forever. For the longest time I've thought this guy should be on A team. Kind of surprised to see him on B team, but I think he could easily get this. But yeah, not trying J24, probably the top 3.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about A Dog. So yeah, I guess those three are the top three. Blackberry also was only she is missing a week. I guess in
True.
838 T gas that is still high, so she probably doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously all kind of just speculation. I mean, with B team, you could move that a little bit higher, just given the minute rotation and how that works. But yeah, Blackberry, Vic Messi, Spheroid are all in there.
Mhm. Okay, so now for general awards. I wrote down best captain just because I want to shout myself out again.
The usual circle jerk going on over here.
But besides me,
Yeah, I mean
Duff,
your teams are 1 and 2, an A and B team. I mean that's if you want to just look from a purely numbers point of view, that's far and away the best performance of any captain. I think LST's 5-1.
yeah, there was pretty good
Uh,
bunch of good contenders. Dusk, Graham, kinda, Breezy, kinda, Rick. Rick has turned his team around.
yeah, and I think preseason a lot of people were hating on Dust's team. I don't know if that was warranted. I think he took a lot of flyers on some new guys, but I mean to take them up, they're 6th in the standings right now. They're gonna probably make playoffs. They might not, depends on how it goes. That's impressive enough as a captain because I think 2 or 3 of those guys were B team last season.
Oh yeah, 3 of them were.
Uh, yeah, so that definitely the shout out there. But yeah, I mean, with Miami being 1 and 2 in the standings, it's hard to vote anyway else.
Okay, best. What's the next? Best streamer. Well, you got the regular 2 contenders in Bald Eagle
Yeah,
and Jalpa. There,
the
no one's
usual.
gonna knock those two off. I'd say,
Yeah, I love the honking script that Eagle uses, or Hijalpa, I forget which one. Whichever one uses the honks, that's the one that should win.
that's Jalpa. Eagle
Okay,
stream
yeah.
has better quality. Like he added
True.
those like the little indicators that's like 39
Yeah, the
drop
indicators
box
are
or
impressive,
whatever.
but he doesn't have any honks, Jarvis.
Honks can get annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, it's obviously one of those two. It's yeah.
And then for third place, HD and Griff have been streaming like all of the games for their teams.
Yeah, I think HD streamed a couple of our games. I haven't really watched very many of them to be perfectly honest, but yeah, it's I forget that we have to name 3 people, so probably one of those 2.
Mhm. Behind the scenes, uh, no one
Behind
is
the
making
scenes,
okay. I usually say top 10 for these, but Thanos Ball has been slacking a lot on these. He we just got week 3 like 3 days ago, and we're in a week 7, so
I can confirm Thanos and Messi are working hard on them. They've just had some delays. I kind of want to just give it to Squid for that playoff prediction thing, or the playoff
honestly
scenario thing.
maybe
Got it. Who is the new?
podcast
I have not paid attention.
podcast as
Yeah,
usual. Yeah, no one's really.
it's the usual contenders. I mean, every season.
Yeah, there's no previews, no newsroom.
Yeah, what? Get Adarsh off his butt here. We need the newsroom back.
Well, we had it for like 2 weeks, I think,
Yeah,
and
it's been
then
gone. Where's my player cards, bro?
okay, and then the final award, hard award. So a lot of contenders. We Ice Flat got it last year. I
How do
I
you
don't know
like?
whether
I'm gonna
the
be honest. How do you quantify or how do you like pick for the heart award? This is like something I've never paid any attention to because it's always gone to Smalley or Slob or Ice Plat, I guess, last season.
yeah, I don't
Um,
know if there's like it's just like most lovable, who's the most wholesome player.
I
Not anything you can like quantify like numerically.
yeah, I guess I got nothing on this one. I can tell you probably who it's not gonna be, but that doesn't do us any good.
Shout out to iTag Pro for Hard Award, part of the new
For
podcast. He's been a
yeah,
great co-captain for
get
my
the Z
team.
Australian. You said he's OC, right?
Yeah, he's been
Yeah, get the Australian in.
helping out my poor B teamers figure out how to play the game. He's always
Your poor
always
B teamers that are
always
in
had
second place in the standings.
always has a positive attitude, friendly guy. I hope he wins it, but I don't think that many people know about him. And then
Yeah, I certainly didn't until like 30 minutes ago.
I don't want to give it to Vic anymore. Vic, I don't think he deserves it for
Vic's been too toxic this season. You can't give it to
he
him.
was he was trying to spy on our film review for last week. He kept joining the channel when we
Well, I
were.
mean, you've got half of the NA server in your Discord. I mean, what do you expect?
I expect not to be spied on while we're going over classified information. So
I will definitely not spy on you guys before our matchup this week.
you can spy all you want. Who cares?
Yeah, you guys already have number 1 locked up. Yada yada yada. Heard it all before.
All right, I think that is everything. We've covered all of the relevant awards. all the matchups, playoff predictions. Anything
Yeah,
anything
I
else you
think
want to say before we stop the recording?
I was gonna put some work in this morning at looking at my BBB and coming up with some players that have been surprised me one way or the other, and then that felt like a lot of work, and I didn't do it. There have definitely been a few surprises, and I might. I've been toying with the idea of releasing an updated one after the season just to kind of reflect on
You
it.
should
But
definitely do it. The community would love
oh,
it. I would love it.
the community does need some content, so we'll see. I don't know what I would call it though. I'd have to come up with an even better name, and I don't know if I can, other than just seven B's in a row.
Big bad balls, big
Honestly,
big better.
better. Yeah, there we go. Throw another B in there. Make it 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I've got a template for it if I want to do that. I just haven't committed to do it. I've got some free time for the next week or so, so I probably will. I
Yes.
might.
You got to do it.
I don't have anything else. I think we covered it all. Other than that.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it. Thanks for joining me on this. Well, we've been recording for an hour and 30 minutes now. So,
Yeah, it's a long
90-minute
podcast.
podcast. So,
Yeah,
we
something to listen to in the
appreciate your
car.
time, and
Of course.
that will do it.